Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Mr. Summers. Long time no see. I hope everyone's doing all right. It's been a little while, but I will be back soon, and we'll see you guys soon. But anyways, today is some in reading. You are still going to be studying the rainforest and biodiversity, but we're taking a little break for right now, and we're going to be focusing on this thing called text structure today. The work is on these Google Slides, obviously, and you're going to be finishing slides 5, 8, and 11. That is going to be your work to prove what you know and can be able to do. That's how we're going to see if you're being successful with your work. Okay, so this chart in slide 2 tells a little bit more about text structure. And structure means how something is organized, how, like, if you think of something, how it's built or made. And in this case, it's how is writing organized? How does a writer communicate ideas? Okay. And in this, there's five main kinds, although some people say there's more: description, cause and effect, problem and solution, compare and contrast, and sequence. Today, you're going to be doing the first three: description, cause and effect, and problem and solution. So go in here to description. Description is you're describing something. Usually there's a main idea and there's details that back it up. So here's a sample of the dog. Dogs make great pets. They're good company. They protect you. They're relaxing. There's signal words though. For instance, including, for example, to illustrate, such as. These are signal words that show you that there's an idea that's being described. Okay, I'm going to go to my slides to show this. You're going to be reading right now. There's a sample done in here for you, but I'm going to break this down quickly. Okay, and it's about going to the lake. So I zoomed in a little bit so you can see better. Going to the lake in the summer. Let's see here. Going to the lake in the summer is relaxing and fun. My uncle hangs a hammock between two trees. Hammocks are the most comfortable places to nap. We usually bring a few of my friends with us. We like to jump off the dock and have cannonball contests. Sometimes we work together to build huge sandcastles, build a huge sandcastle on the beach. We like to dig a big moat around it and fill it with water. Even our dog has a good time. He likes to swim, too. We take turns throwing a stick out into the water for him to retrieve. That silly dog could chase it all day. We laugh and laugh until we've worn ourselves out. Then we lay in a big blanket in the shade, we eat our snacks and talk until my mom says it's time to go. Okay. So I'm looking at the main idea first, and it's typed in for you, but a lot of times, not always, but the first sentence or two might help with the main idea. And to this one, it's like, going to the lake, not just going to the lake, but going to the lake is relaxing and fun. So on here, this put on your doc, it showed that that's the exact main idea. So then you kind of scan back and look for a few details. There's a hammock. This detail isn't explained too well, but you could say the hammock is a comfortable place to nap. Friends come along. You have friends do things like have cannonball contests or play. We play with our dog. These are kind of weak details, but those are showing that going to the lake is fun and relaxing. You will be later reading this text short about puppies and figuring out the main idea and the details that back it up. And you'll be typing in these text boxes what you think the main idea is and the supporting details. Next, cause and effect. A little trickier. Cause and effect go together. And this says the outcome is the effect. Outcome comes second, and the cause is what made the effect. Okay, so this chart I like. It looked like it might rain, so I wore a raincoat. There's signal words. So, because, since, therefore, if, then, this led to, as a result, consequently, for this reason. So it's basically if something happens and then you realize the effect that it made happen. Kind of like two events usually. Okay, I'm going to my other doc here. I'm going to read through these. Here's a couple samples. It was a dark, rainy day. We heard thunder and saw lightning in the distance, so we decided to stay inside. Luckily, we had a bunch of board games to play. So it says, we heard thunder and saw lightning. So then, what's the effect of that? So we decided to stay inside, and that's what it'll be on the next slide. So we decided to stay inside. Next, this one, a history one. In 1519, this guy Ferdinand Magellan and his men sailed west from Spain. They wanted to see what would happen if they kept sailing west. 3 years later, they landed in Spain. They had sailed around the world. Now, this one's a little tricky because it skips the first part, the cause, but it goes right to the effect. What was the result, the end, kind of. So they had sailed around the world. So what caused this? What caused them to sail around the world was that they wanted to see what happened if they kept sailing west. So they left Spain and they kept sailing west. And then the effect was that eventually they sailed around the world. And there it is. Here's the answer. They wanted to see what would happen if they sailed west. Last one. John lived in the country. One weekend he visited San Francisco. It was big and exciting, but too noisy and crowded. John was glad to get back home where it was quiet. So, again, it's tricky. It skips the cause, the first part, but the effect is what happens because of the cause. So I need to think, what made him want to be glad to be home? So he was glad to be home where it was quiet, but that's not what I would put here. What caused him to be glad to be home was because it was big and exciting in San Francisco, but it was too noisy and crowded. So when you look at the answers, the city of San Francisco was too noisy and crowded. So on your doc or your Google slide, you'll be doing slide 8, and there's a few samples where you'll be typing in information. Last one is problem and solution. Basically, the text describes a problem and it offers some solutions. So it's informational. It's teaching you something. It's kind of like the describing the first one, but it's saying here's a problem and here's some possible solutions. You read about something like this in your story about the rainforest canopy this week. Problem. Too much time in the sun can lead to sunburn and skin cancer. Here's some solutions. Wear a hat and sunscreen. Stay inside during the hottest part of the day. And there's signal words sometimes, their vocabulary. The question is dilemma, the puzzle to solve this, one answer, one reason for the problem. Okay. This sample is what you'd be reading, and it talks about, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it talks about large amounts of garbage can cause health problems for people and animals. Litter takes away from the natural beauty, and then it's going to go through with 3 samples of solutions. So the problem is lots of garbage can cause health problems, and it takes away from the beauty of like nature and natural spaces. So right here is on the chart, I put in there's too much garbage and litter. That's the problem. And then when you read the article, it breaks down reduce things, reuse them, and recycle. Each one basically has its own little paragraph. Reduce, meaning like buy less things. Then this one was to reuse, reusing things like, and then the last is recycling. On your Google slide, you would be doing this slide about my little brother. So there's a problem with someone's little brother, and then there's some solutions. Okay. So again, everyone, you're going to be doing slides 5, 8, and 11, reading carefully and typing in on those slides. You can look back at the screencast, pause and watch things and pause. You can look at this chart to help you, but please know that these are different types of text structures. All right, good luck. See you soon.